For a decade, a specific vision of the future dominated the public consciousness, one of interplanetary travel, sustainable energy, and solved traffic. But when we look at the actual delivery of those promises, the pristine image often shatters. At the center of this vision is Elon Musk, positioned in the cultural zeitgeist as a real-life superhero. He is widely accepted as the solo genius who founded Tesla and the mastermind currently orchestrating the colonization of Mars. We are often captivated by these grand narratives. In an era of short attention spans and constant media cycles, critical thinking frequently gives way to aggressive marketing and carefully staged PR appearances. However, examining the mechanics behind this multi-billion-dollar empire reveals a significant disconnect. The records suggest a history of taking credit for existing innovations and using market speculation to fuel his momentum. Understanding these mechanics is vital. It allows us to see how a single individual can gain the influence to shape national infrastructure and our collective future, even when the underlying reality doesn't match the promise. This process begins with the origin story. While the public image suggests a completely self-made ascent, his early ventures were supported by family wealth, including his father's financial stake in a Zambian emerald mine during the 1980s. The most significant example of narrative control is Tesla, a company synonymous with Musk's name, despite the fact that he did not actually found it. In reality, engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning founded Tesla Motors in 2003. Musk joined a year later as an investor, leading a major funding round and becoming chairman, before tensions began to escalate with the original leadership. By 2007, Eberhard was removed as CEO, later suing Musk for defamation and for attempting to erase him from the company's history. A 2009 legal settlement eventually allowed Musk to use the official title of co-founder. Through this combination of financial leverage and legal maneuvering, Musk successfully rebranded himself as the company's architect, turning someone else's vision into his own personal brand identity. Maintaining that brand requires a constant stream of unachievable promises. These high-concept sci-fi claims serve to keep investors engaged and can even be used to paralyze competing public projects. Take the timeline for full self-driving. Despite this dashboard interface showing the system still requires active human supervision, Musk has spent every year since 2014 claiming that total Level 5 autonomy was merely 12 months away. He pitched this sleek digital rendering as a revolutionary transit system where pods travel through vacuum tubes at 760 miles per hour. This imaginary, faster alternative was weaponized to stall public high-speed rail development in California. The actual result of this transit effort is seen here in the Vegas Loop map. Instead of supersonic pods, the project resulted in a short, underground tunnel where human drivers pilot ordinary cars at low speeds. This gap between the rendering and the reality creates a civic cost. It turns transit planning into an inefficient system that focuses on moving private cars rather than solving the systemic problems of urban congestion. When the discrepancy between the marketing and the engineering becomes too wide to ignore, the focus shifts toward managing the perception of those who notice. While he publicly advocates for free speech, his leadership of this social platform told a different story. Upon taking control, he suspended journalists who reported on his mismanagement and silenced employees who questioned his decisions. He has also used his platform to launch baseless personal attacks. He mocked a Twitter employee's disability and famously smeared the rescue personnel seen here, who were executing a dangerous cave rescue, simply because they challenged his technical suggestions. This pressure for speed and public relations victories has reached a breaking point at Neuralink. Reports indicate that Musk's demand for human trials led to botched experiments and the deaths of 1,500 animals in just a few years. In this environment, safety and human dignity are often treated as secondary to the momentum of the brand. The ethical cost of maintaining the illusion is profound. The cycle is consistent. He identifies a rising industry, inflates its value through unverified hype, secures the narrative of its creation, and eventually moves on when the promises stop serving his immediate interests. The collateral damage remains long after the new cycle moves on. It includes ruined retail investors, obstructed public transit, and incomplete software on public streets. To see the true state of our future, we must look past the persona. It is time to stop mistaking immense wealth for visionary genius and aggressive marketing for reality.